I don't want to set the world on fire.
Alright, welcome back to the Big Yak channel. Like I promised, I'm going to do a 5-gallon hard cider, how to make hard cider video. I did, however, go to DP Wiggly's that I talked about in my racking cider video, and I purchased this 6-gallon carboy here. So, and that's filled with sanitizer at the moment. I already shook it around. I've used the Star Sand sanitizer. I've sanitized all the tools I'm going to be needing for this. Now you don't need everything that's here. I mean, a lot of it's real simple to make, but this is going to be my first big batch, so I'm really excited to do this. I have my wine thief, which is not a necessity. This is the kind that comes apart so that you can choose how deep you'll go. And all this does really is, for those who don't know, you put it together, drop it inside, put your finger over the hole, and the pressure will bring the liquid back up where you can use it for your hydrometer to take a reading or a sample for yourself. So this is a hydrometer that we'll be using to test the sugar level in the unfinished juice, and then compare it to the finished product in about 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I will be racking this into the 5-gallon 70-year-old carboy in about 2 weeks, and I'll let it sit for at least 1.5 weeks, because April 20th we're going up to the cabin to do some shooting for Easter. More videos will follow for that as well. I have my airlock. I also purchased this from DP Wiggly's. My airlock, I sanitized a knife just because I have to cut the yeast packet, and might as well be sanitized. I have my measuring cup, which I'm going to use to measure. I'm going to do a little bit of a sugar boost with this, even though this is a hodgepodge. If you'll notice, I'm using different kinds of apple juice that I've collected for the last couple weeks. Most of it's going to be this Nature's Nectar 100% apple juice with no sugar added. I have 1 gallon of the Harvest Valley, and I have a 3-liter glass jug of the R.W. Knudsen organic apple juice, which will be the basis of the sugar effects. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add some white granulated sugar, 2 cups. I'm going to take 1 cup per gallon, and I'm going to condense 2 cups per 1 cup of water of white granulated sugar, and I'm going to add that as a syrup to the final thing to give it a little extra kick. A whole packet of Levlin D47 yeast, and then that'll be it. So give me 1 second and we'll get right back to you.
Two Tunes Brew Review. Drinking lots of brews for you. Two Tunes Brew Review. Cheers to you.
Alright, sorry about that interruption. I had to go and empty out the majority of the sanitation the solution that was in the 6-gallon carboy. Now, with the Star Sand sanitation, it's actually a no-rinse sanitation solution, and it is completely not going to hurt you whatsoever. I still try to get as much as I can out because, I don't know, something about soapy bubbles freaks me out. Other than that, it should be okay. Now, I'm going to start a yeast starter. That's why I sanitize this bowl. And really all that is just a little bit of sugar, mixed in a little bit of warm water, and then I add the yeast and let it bubble up for a couple minutes while I'm doing the other things, and that way it just kind of gives it a boost when you throw it in instead of putting the dry yeast in right away. So why don't I go ahead, I'm going to cut this open. Now it's the Levlin D47, and I'm using the whole packet for the 5 gallons. I made the mistake on my first batch to put a whole packet in 1 gallon, and although it was very dry and very yeasty flavored, it also had a colon cleansing effect as well. So I learned, you know, trial and error. Don't put too much yeast, otherwise your night will suck. Simple like that. I mean, women have known that for a long time. Ah! I'm just kidding. But I'll be right with you. Just stay right here. Take a look at this wonderful carboy. I'm going to fill up this water with warm water from the tap with this cup. I'm just going to use about 1 cup. And I'm going to grab some sugar just to kind of get it started. And I don't actually measure out my sugar, but I will go ahead and use this table teaspoon, like for your table. I'll just add 2 of those and 1 cup of warm water to the yeast. And I don't know if I'm doing this right. If I'm doing something wrong and someone's seeing this and can give me some advice, I'll take it. But I've watched a lot of videos so far and read a lot of material. I don't think this 1 extra cup is going to harm anything. And I'm just going to stir this up so that the yeast breaks down. And it already smells like bread. And just kind of set that off to the side and let it go on its own. So I'm going to get a fork in a second so I can get a whisking effect. Okay. There we go. A lot easier to mix a liquid without spilling it everywhere with a fork. So I'm just going to let that set to the side and do its thing and start bubbling up. And let's get to the juice. Sanitize this funnel. This bung here that closes off the hole, and then I have this bung here which I'll be using for the airlock with the hole in the center. And set these aside. Actually, before I do all that, no, I'll do it now. I'm just going to add the juice as normal. Use 100% pasteurized juice. That's the best thing to do. Do not add, like 25, 30, 40%. You want 100% and you want pasteurized. So I'll just add this in now. And then after I'm done doing this, I'm going to make the sugar solution. Now, as I'm adding this, I just wanted to put in one more thing, is that this the R.W. Knudsen organic apple juice, that's actually only 3 liters. It's not a full gallon, but I've had experience with my 1 gallon test batches. I've had experience whereas it bubbles up and goes into the airlock, so I figured with the 6 gallon carboy and less than 5 gallons, a little less than 5 gallons of juice, plus the addition of the 2 cups of sugar, or it'll be 5 cups of sugar syrup, it really won't affect. Alright, so this portion I'm going to make the sugar syrup that I'm going to add to the cider to give it a kind of a boost for the yeast. I go to the GFS store, and it's a bulk food store, about 25 pounds of sugar. I've still been going through it, and like I said, I'm going to add 10 cups of sugar, so I'm going to add 5 cups of water and then heat it up to make a syrup slowly on the stove. 1, 2, because you want a higher ABV, alcohol by volume, and the best way to do that is to get extra sugar involved. I think I'm actually going to only do 8 cups. 5, jeez. 6, 7, 8. Now the only other thing that you'd use 8 cups of sugar for, God if I know, making a shit ton of cake, but we got this. Alright, now just add some warm water right out of the tap. I'm going to add 5 cups of water to the sugar, mix it around, put it on the stove, warm it up. Then I got to let it cool down so it's not too hot. Well, actually I'll probably pour it in, and then the very last thing I do is the yeast. Do not add warm water that's above 80 degrees or 90 degrees to your, there's 5 cups. Don't add to your, put this on medium heat, slowly bring it up and stir it. Don't add, because it'll kill the yeast. If you add it to the, I want to say wort, but that's not the right term, so Just don't add any super hot liquids to the yeast because it'll kill the yeast. And I believe super cold also does the same thing. So the whole point here is just to stir it, let it become syrup. It's doing pretty good. This is the first time, like I said, I've made this much cider, so I'm pretty excited about that. I'm pretty cidered about that. Like cidered. Ha ha ha. And the yeast packet's still over there doing its thing. Alright, so we've gotten our sugar solution is dissolved and slightly cooled down. And I'm going to carefully pour it into the funnel, trying not to spill any. There's still a little bit of sugar there. It's real thick here at the bottom, but I just love sugar. Love it. Okay, and then what we're going to do is take this out, set it here on the table, put in the bung with the whole, or with the sealed one, and kind of just shake it up a bit. Get that sugar real moved in there, and I give it one of those. Okay. We'll shake it for a couple minutes, trying to get it to move around. I think this is going to be extremely good. I'm bringing this up to Easter, so during the day we'll shoot guns, during the night we'll shoot cups of syrup. Now this yeast starter's probably been sitting for about 10 minutes. You can see it's not actively bubbling, but there are frothy bubbles on top. That lets you know that the yeast is active. Just give it another real quick stir. And we'll just pour this right in. Alright, and it's really that easy. It really is. That's all it takes to make alcohol. That and some time. So, and if you're under the age of 21 and you're thinking about doing this, I highly recommend you don't. Because that's against law, and the laws should be followed. But, other than that, put this back in, give the yeast a good shake. You want to make sure you shake it up after all this stuff too, so that it activates easier. I mean, you can let it sit on top and sink to the bottom, slowly activate. Either way, it's fine. I always like to shake it just to, it makes me feel like I'm more part of the process of the mixture of the whole situation. Now we're going to take my wine thief and get a reading here. So here we go. Just going to get some cider and I'm going to put it, now everything here has been sterilized. I've heard some people say not to use the cider from the test tube and put it back in, but I'm definitely going to, because it makes little to no sense not to. Maybe a little bit more than that. Okay. And then we'll add the hydrometer. Actually, I can take this out of there now. There we go. And as you can see here on the hydrometer, we have a specific gravity reading here. And the bailing, which I haven't been taught what that is, but the specific gravity, percentages, and water should have a specific gravity of 1.000. This here first reading, oh man, we're at 1.068, which is percentage wise, it's saying will be 0.68 will be about almost 10% alcohol by volume. So that's pretty good. You just want to make sure you gotta twist it and make sure that's not stuck to the side. Spin. Yeah, this is going to be some very, very potent stuff. It's almost 1.068, so that's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And we get another reading, and we subtract the second reading from the first reading, and that'll be your percentage of alcohol by volume. So all we gotta do now is, give me 1 second here, and I have Star Sand in my sink over here, and I'm just gonna grab a little bit of it. Solution. I use this solution for the airlock. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make sure the lip is dry so the bung seats proper, and set this bung in there. It's all been sanitized. Everything's been sanitized, nice and steady. I'm going to add. This is a water Star Sand mixture. You add it in the airlock. Doesn't take much. They have a fill line here. I want a little bit over the line. It's right on the line. I'll dump just a little bit extra out. And all that does is just, basically what this does is let the CO2 that will be created from the yeast and the sugars out, and does not allow bacteria to enter. So in about 24 hours to 48 hours, this thing should be bubbling pretty well. And I will come back and do an update on that, and then I'll update from that 1 gallon of cider that I racked in about a couple days. So hope you liked watching. Thanks for watching. And I hope you guys subscribe and comment. So have a good day.